This wasn't a renovation, it was a siege. The project was 3 weeks away from completion. The finish line was visible, the kitchen, crown jewel of the fleet, was sitting there, 90% installed. But in property, 90% done is 0% done. You cannot sell a house with a kitchen that has no handles. You cannot sell a house where the kickboards are missing and the raw particle board is showing. Wires were hanging out of the walls where the range hood supposed. The silence in the room was deafening. The cabinet maker knew this. He wasn't my usual kitchen guy. I had to try a new contractor here to replenish my black book. And he decided to use this to his advantage as a leverage. He held the project hostage for the final $4,000 payment. Today, the kitchen standoff is being deconstructed. The session will analyze exactly how trades test boundaries long before the conflict starts. Why paying to make it go away is a trap. And the exact voicemail script, word for word, used to force him back to site without a lawyer. This is a lesson in leadership and managing the trades.
By the way, I'm not teaching conflict, I'm teaching containment. This system was built inside live projects, not case studies, not theory. 20 plus years on active sites, 40 plus flips completed, tens of millions moved through the deals, disputes and deadlines. An 8-figure portfolio built by controlling chaos, not reacting to it. This isn't drama, this is operational control. Now let's define the trap.
Before getting into the fight, understand the trap. It's called boundary erosion. Contractors are smart. They test the client constantly. They don't start with a hostage situation. They start with 3 tests. Test number 1, lateness. They say they will be there at 8 a.m. They arrive at 9:30 a.m. If nothing is said, the boundary moves. They learn the time is a suggestion, not a rule. Test number 2, rubbish. They leave coffee cups and offcuts in the corner of the site. If you clean it up for them, the boundary moves again. They learn that you are cleaner, not a boss. Test number 3. They ask for small extra payment for something that should be included. Oh, the screws were extra. If you pay it without checking the contract, the boundary is gone. In this deal, the cabinet maker had already run all 3 tests. He was late delivering the boxes. It was allowed to slide. He complained about site access. He thought that he could push. So when the cash flow pressure hit him, he knew exactly who to squeeze. The contract was clear. 10% payment on a completion. Completion means handles on, kickboard scribe, 0 defects. He wanted the money earlier because he had to pay rent. He was betting that the desperation to launch the open home would override the contract, and he was right. The desperation was real. Interest payments were ticking, the staging company was booked, but paying him would validate the erosion. If boundary is allowed to erode once, the war is lost. You become the client they walk all over. The nice guy finishes broke. The professional holds the line. I walked onto the site on Thursday morning. I expected to hear drills. I expected to see the installer finishing the joinery. Instead, silence. Empty room. Dust settling on a bench top. Then the phone buzzed. It was a text from cabinet maker. Hi mate, I won't be back to finish until the final invoice is paid. Thanks. Stop and look at the psychology of text. He didn't call, he texted. Why? Because texting is safe. It removes the confrontation. It allows him to hide. My heart started hammering against my ribs. Not from fear, but from rage. The time head of the Hydra started screaming. Just pay him. It's only $4,000. We have the photographer coming on Monday. If we miss the launch, we pay another month of interest. The ego head started screaming. Who does he think he is? Tell him to go to hell. Fire him. This is where most investors fail. They react to the red wire. They either cave in and pay, losing the leverage, or they blow up and start a legal fight, losing the time. If the money is paid now, he will never be seen again. I would be the one installing handles at 2 a.m. with a drill I don't know how to use. Well, I do. A third option had to be found. Weapon number 9. Decisive leadership. The phone felt heavy. The instinct was to text back an angry reply. But leadership requires voice. The text was ignored. The number was dialed. Texting in conflict is for cowards. You cannot negotiate leverage via SMS. It's too easy for them to ignore you. I called him. No answer. I called again. No answer. So I left a voicemail. If you are ever in this situation, this is exact script to use. Write it down. The voice must be dead calm, 0 emotion, no shouting. Here goes. goes. I'm at the site, the kitchen isn't finished. The contract says payment on completion. You have two options. Option A, you are here tomorrow at 8 a.m. and finish the job. I will have a bank check and payment waiting for you the second the last screw is turned. Option B, you don't show up. If you aren't there by 8 a.m., I will hire a new carpenter to finish your work. I will deduct his entire cost from your final invoice, and I will leave a formal review online that will make sure you never get hired in this suburb again. Let me know if you pick option A or option B. Hang up. This afternoon was the longest 4 hours of the project. The silence was brutal. I was pacing the living room. I was checking my phone every 30 seconds. The fear was that I had just blown up the timeline. The fear was that he would call the bluff. But at 6 p.m., the text came through. See you at 8. The ultimatum worked because it wasn't a threat. It was a choice. He was given a golden bridge, option A, and burning pit, option B. He did the math. Option A was easier. The amateur threatens. The professional presents consequences. Be the professional. The next morning he arrived. He didn't look happy. He didn't say hello. But he worked. He installed the handles. He fitted the kickboards. He adjusted every single hinge until the soft close worked perfectly. At 2 p.m. he put down his tools and says done. He put his hand out for the envelope. The envelope stayed in the pocket. Let's check. I walked around the kitchen. I performed soft close audit. Opened every drawer fully, slammed it shut, watched it catch. Check the gap between the doors. Is it even? Is it 3 millimeters top to bottom? Run a hand under the bench top overhanging. Is it smooth? Only when I was 100% satisfied did I hand him his envelope. I looked him in the eye and I said, thanks, good job. He took it and left. The kitchen made the sale, but the lesson was worth more than profit. You teach people how to treat you. If the line is held, the project works. If you fold, the Hydra eats you. Next week we cover biggest technical disaster ever faced, the shower Tetris. Subscribe, you need to see this one.